What do you think about a romantic relationship through dating apps? Do you think it's something sustainable? Can we really know the other person just through what they share on social networks? What are the chances that we can be fooled? Hi everyone, I'm Raymond, an office worker with a good enough income. I have a girlfriend named Clara, and I am crazy in love with her. Clara's a girl I met on Tinder. She's a beautiful girl, not too skinny, with fair skin and long, wavy hair. She has a good sense of humor and is very thoughtful. We enjoy each other's company quite a lot. Clara is definitely the type that I've been searching for. However, the only problem between the two of us was the geographical distance. She was in England and I was in Wales. "Will you be my girlfriend?" I asked her after a month of dating online. I don't want to lose my chance with her just because of distance. And thankfully, she agreed to be my girlfriend. We became a lot more serious after that. I started saving money to take better care of Clara by buying her anything she needs, no matter the price. I gave her special gifts on our anniversaries, and in return, she was not shy to share her feelings with me and also gave me a lot of encouragement, which made me fall deeper in love with her every day. During the time we were in love, I asked to meet her face-to-face countless times, and even wanted to change my job to move closer to her, but she refused. She gave a lot of excuses to delay the meeting times. For instance, Clara said that she was going abroad on a business trip or that her parents were very strict, so it wouldn't be a good time yet. Also, Clara didn't want me to give up my career, family, and friends in Wales just for her. Those were just some of her reasons that I could think of for now. But our 2-year anniversary was coming up, so I decided to surprise her. I dressed up nicely, picked out an expensive necklace for my love, and drove all the way to the address she gave me in England to send presents to in the past. I called her when I got there. "Clara, are you off work yet?"
Not until 5. If there's nothing urgent, can I call you back?
It was 4 p.m. when I called, and I was so excited to finally meet my love in real life in 1 hour. I really couldn't wait. It was getting dark. 5:30, then 6, then 6:30. I sat down and stood up so many times. I kept walking back and forth in front of Clara's house, but still, she was nowhere to be seen. My phone buzzed with a text. "I'm home." I jumped right on it and called Clara. "I'm waiting in front of your house. When did you make it home? I didn't see you at all." The line dropped right after that. I tried to call back a few times, but none went through. I decided to ring the doorbell, but there was no response either. I stood there like a fool. I opened the present and kept staring at the necklace, feeling so lost. What happened? Why is she ghosting me? Why is she avoiding me? What could have happened? I went on waiting like that until the next morning. When I attempted to call her one last time, my phone was dead. Gave up and drove home. Being in such a bad mood when I got home, I immediately called up my 2 best friends, Max and Rosie, to come over and help me deal with my emotions. We had some drinks and I told them everything. They immediately reached the conclusion after I finished. "You've been used, man. You're so silly." Couldn't admit that fact. Got angry at them both. "There's no proof. Don't say such a thing. Our feelings for each other are real. I'm sure of it. And we've been together for 2 years.
She's a gold digger, man. I mean, you're not that rich, but you got the point. How many expensive gifts have you sent her to this point? Think about it. You even gave her money before. All she needed was to ask for it, and you provided."
Rosie impatiently chimed in. Indeed, I once sent Clara £100,000, but at that time, she said that her father was seriously ill and they had a large bill for his medical treatment, but couldn't afford to pay. I couldn't just do nothing. I sent her all of my savings and even borrowed more from Rosie and Max, just enough to send her £100,000. She called me right after the money was successfully wired and cried so much on the line. She said that her family would be forever in debt to me, and she promised to pay me back as soon as possible. I was still lost in my thoughts when Max woke me. "Hey, check this out." So I took a closer look. Her photos are fake. They're all heavily edited. Just look at her face and body. The whole thing is a scam. He's very tech savvy and can point out to me the Photoshop parts of the photos right away. At the same time, Rosie discovered something interesting.
Oh, look! Her hair in this photo is so off-putting. It's like she's wearing a wig.
I snatched Rosie's phone to check her photos closely. She was right. Clara's hair did seem weird. I mean, it's normal to wear wigs, though. Who doesn't like to try new stuff from time to time, right?
But did she tell you about it? Why did she Photoshop her photos so much before showing them here? You haven't seen her in real life ever, correct? Well, I don't know what to tell you other than you've been fooled this entire time.
Have I seen Clara's face in real life? Not yet. We did FaceTime each other, but she only showed me part of her hair or face. I asked her so many times, "Why don't you show me your beautiful face?" To which she only ignored and quickly switched to another topic. So the past 2 years were just a scam? Why didn't I doubt her at all? Why am I so blind? The proof is right in front of me, and I refuse to look at it. Could her address be fake too? That would explain why I didn't see her getting inside her house. The more I tried to justify Clara, the more my justifications turned against me and led me to the final conclusion. I have been lied to, and my lover is a scammer. Don't let this bother you too much. I mean, it sucks, but at least you learn the truth now. It's better like this than later, because who knows what else she might ask from you. Rosie and Max tried their best to cheer me up, but I didn't hear a thing. I was lost in my own thoughts and didn't realize when they'd left. I was just sitting on the chair, alone, and dialing Clara. I guess I really wanted some explanation from her. After a long ring, I almost gave up, when suddenly, Clara picked up on the other end.
Raymond, I was gonna call you back. Yesterday, right when you called me, my father had a stroke and had to go to the emergency room and he passed away.
Clara started crying, but I was skeptical and didn't know what percent of what she said was the truth. She might have just made up her father's death for my pity. If so, she was truly evil. But what if what she said was true? In that case, I'd be the cruel one. Maybe I should still address her directly, I thought to myself, and couldn't stop the words coming out of my mouth. Clara, were you wearing a wig this whole time? Why didn't you let me see your entire face when we FaceTime? Did you know that I was waiting in front of your house yesterday when you lied to me that you got home? I'm not too sure about you anymore. I mean, I don't seem to know anything about you. There was a long silence on the other end of the line after my question.
I'm sorry.
And then it cut off. I tried to call back, but no luck. She must have blocked me right after. It was confirmed at that moment that the whole thing was a scam. I got mad. I still couldn't accept how stupid I'd been. Part of me was still deeply in love with Clara, and I needed to see this through. I immediately called Max. Help me track this caller ID, will you? I needed to know the person behind this phone number, and Max is perfect for the job because he's basically a tech wizard. Just a few minutes later, Max sent me an address, which was only 20 minutes from my house. I rushed out of the house and quickly hopped into a taxi heading to the address Max provided. Arriving at the place, I was a bit shocked to see the decorations for a funeral. Did Clara's father really pass away? I went ahead and rang the doorbell. A man in a black suit came out. When he saw me, he seemed a bit surprised, but very quickly he regained his composure. You are... I showed him Clara's photo and asked, I need to see the lady in this photo. He immediately became angry. I'm afraid you can't find that girl here. You need to leave now. He slammed the door shut before I could utter any other word. I got angry too and kept ringing the doorbell. I shouted, Clara, get out right now. I know you're in there. We need to talk this through. Clara! Clara! I kept ringing the bell and banging on the door. Then, suddenly, that same man opened the door and threw on the ground the gifts that I gave Clara. I was confused for a second, but his action confirmed that I got the right address. I immediately rushed inside. Clara, I need an explanation from you. The man pushed me aside and held his phone in front of me, showing Clara's Tinder account. He shouted, Stop it! I'm Clara! I've been lying to you this entire time. Like a thunderclap in my ears, I couldn't believe it. The muscular man standing in front of me was the girl I'd been in love with for 2 years. I couldn't control myself, grabbed him by the collar, and punched him non-stop. I kept going until an elderly woman rushed out to stop me. She held me and cried,
"Please forgive the boy. He has suffered enough already."
I stopped and stared blankly at the person I was punching. He didn't even try to defend himself. Good. He learned his lesson then. I sat next to Paul in front of his house. Yeah, Paul was his name. What his mother had said kept coming back. Paul discovered his true gender when he was 10 years old. He was more and more interested in fashion, dresses, makeup, and wigs. Paul's parents did not try to stop him at all, and in fact, were very supportive of their son. Clara is the second name that Paul's mother gave him. Paul's family was also not too well off. He had to work hard to support the family and help his mom take care of his dad due to his heart disease. Everything they had went into the treatment of his father. A month ago, the hospital announced that his father could stand a chance if he could have a heart transplant, but the fee must be paid in advance. He panicked because he couldn't find a way to find all that money in such a short time. So he resorted to borrowing from me. Actually, the address I gave you was the place I rented 2 years ago. Paul looked down and mumbled. So Paul actually used to live there because the old job paid him so much better. However, his father's condition got worse, so Paul moved back to stay by his side. Paul never expected me to show up at his front door like that. He felt guilty and was debating telling me the truth, but he didn't get a chance to because his father's condition became critical and he passed away too suddenly. Everything happened so quickly that Paul couldn't think. Why did you block my phone number? I was honestly scared, too scared that I didn't know what to do. You said that your family supported you coming out, but based on your look, it's telling me that, well, although my father was supportive, his last wish was to see me in the form of his son. I didn't want to let him down on his last wish ever. Paul hugged his face and cried. I looked at him and couldn't help the tears running down my own cheeks. I don't know what I was thinking at that time, but I naturally got closer to hug Paul tightly and kiss his hair. It's okay to cry. I'm sorry for your loss, but I'm here now. Paul looked up at me, his eyes still filled with tears. But I'm not the girl you fell in love with. I don't know how this is gonna work. I didn't think that far. Before Paul could finish, I kissed him on the lips. It was a long kiss because I truly meant it. At that moment, I didn't care if it was Paul or Clara. I just knew that I was in love with the big heart belonging to the person sitting in front of me, and I wanted to protect them for the rest of my life.